Hey everybody, how's it going? We're here at the Platinum Investment Group, aka PIG podcast. What number are we at?
Number 7.
Number 7. Yes. The wonderful, talented, and ever so sexy Tobias Smulders, and me.
And the beautiful Brian.
Yes, that's it. I have no last
Just
name.
call Bri your mortgage guy.
There you go. There you go. It feels like it's been too long. I love getting together with you and talking money. So what's going on in the market today? What are you seeing right now? Here we are in May 2019.
Yes.
What's it looking like?
Market's been pretty good, actually. You know, some people, we had this office meeting, they called it spotty. Certain spotty.
It's a little spotty.
Certain spots of the market are insane hot.
And that's like, I'm seeing that in the, I want to call it lower price range, but It's funny calling, 400,000, 450.
Yeah,
I think
under
450
right? Is or like 450? Insanity.
It's competition.
Everything is competition like crazy.
Yeah.
It's tough. And it's a big group of investors buying houses.
Are you finding that? So like that first time home buyer right now that's trying to buy a place at 400 is just getting
They're getting beat up. Mauled. Yeah, totally.
Oh, man.
And there's so many things that have factors when buying a house in competition. One of them is price, which first time home buyers are like, I want to pay, but I want to get a fair price. But it's not a lot of the time the deciding factor is if they have conditions or not, which for first-time homebuyers is tough to not have conditions.
I know.
Or scary,
it's
where
true.
an investor is coming in with no conditions and maybe even getting the house less for less money because they're coming firm, no conditions, house is sold, and that seller, they love that. So,
it's interesting, I think, because Hamilton is still a pretty popular market for that, and the rents are going up, but I'm finding that people are buying stuff at lower almost cap rates because it's kind of like the rental income's going up, but they're buying for more and more and more and almost banking. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's a speculation buy, but they're buying based on future value.
Totally.
Right? Which is really kicking the ass of those first time buyers, right?
Makes
they're
it
just
tough.
What are you seeing in the 6, 7, 800,000s in the $1 million price points in that?
It's a lot more balanced kind of market. Yeah, everything's sort of calmed down a bit, and then obviously every area, like an area that 400,000 is hot, the higher price point is easier. But in an area that's more expensive, like Dundas, we had a house that's a great example. It was for sale like 3 months. The feedback was sort of it's overpriced by like $75,000-$80,000. Some people said $100,000 overpriced. End of the year, listing expires, paint it, resell it for $840,000, which is $50,000 more than everyone was saying.
Was it like gold paint or what?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So 3 months later, the house is performing well beyond what everything was quoted.
Interesting.
In that 800,000 price point and sold quick. Like it was on the market 3 months before and then sold in 2 weeks.
Well, you know what? I think it's we've had some really good stability with interest rates too, which is nice right now. We saw a couple drops. You're getting 5-year money now almost at 3%, and in some cases for insured mortgages, 2.99s again. We've seen a couple of those if you got 5-10% down, which is crazy cheap money again, right? Like crazy cheap money. So I think that's sort of given some nice stability to the marketplace as well too.
Totally. And I think that also some of the pent up demand was just people waiting to see what's going to happen with these mortgages and is it sustainable? Does the rental make sense? That sort of thing.
I agree. I think a lot of investors were sitting on the sidelines. We saw it. 2018 was a bit of a
up and down
spotty market as well too, right? So, but now in 2019, it's like, oh my God, the world's not ending. Let's go and buy. Let's access our equity, right? And let's pull the trigger on something.
Totally.
Hey, what are you reading right now? This is something we wanted to add. What what for you guys out there right now? I think like my mentors, I know Tobias's are books like, all the time.
Absolutely.
So what are you reading right now?
And especially from somebody who's very much a non-reader up until years, past couple of years.
Well, that's why they have Audible.
That's why they have Audible. Just kidding. Or the trick is you stick it in the washroom and eventually you'll get to it.
Totally. Just leave a bookmark in there.
Leave a bookmark. Richest Man in Babylon is always one of my first recommendations for everybody. It's easy read. It is entertaining because it's a series of short stories.
What's your and you know what, I got it because I actually got it from you, so that's on my next list. What's a nugget from there for people, like just like a takeaway or something?
I think one of the most important things with it is it's actually true stories. taken from like manuscripts carved in stone that they found.
Oh, wow.
From the lost city of Babylon, which is a real place.
Okay.
From 5,000 years BC.
Oh, shit.
So
cool.
that, I think, the principles in that book 5,000 years ago were the same that they are today, that make so many people very wealthy.
Wow. So I guess you don't have to really reinvent the wheel if they
you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
You know what? I think that's important because sometimes we're always looking for that damn secret sauce or that new tried, tested, and fancy way. But it's like, if it worked 5,000 years ago, principles that we've learned 20 years ago, 15 years ago, it's just stick to them, right?
Totally.
I'm reading the Smith Maneuver right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like an old man because I think it was written in like 92, and all the examples are like, if your mortgage or your house is $100,000, I'm like, that'd be nice, right?
I'd take a couple more.
Yeah, but it's actually really good try, test, and true principles, and it's all about making your mortgage debt tax deductible, right? So getting good debt and bad debt clear. Good debt is tax deductible, and you get money back from it. Bad debt is non-tax deductible, and it talks about, like, a lot of times we see clients that are building up investments at the same time.
Yes.
If you have non-registered investments, cash them out, put them on your mortgage, and then reborrow and buy the investments back.
Amazing.
Something so simple. Now all of a sudden you could be triggering a refund for yourself at the end of the year. So anyways,
amazing.
I was refreshing my memory.
Free money.
Free money.
That,
right? Jesus.
Yeah.
Hey?
It's almost like first-time home buyer. They dump all their deposit into their RSP.
Yep.
And then do first-time home buyer plan, take that money out, get a refund. It's like they got free 30% return on their money.
Totally.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. So that's cool. So that's good. I'm excited to keep up on your reading list as well too. So
yes. So you can follow me on Instagram. I'm going to post everything with a review when I do it, as I read through. That'll
awesome.
be a fun thing.
Then I'll just read your review, so I don't
have
to read
the book. Then you don't have to read the
book. So we were talking today because, you know what? We're still in a market where we've got, first-time home buyers and sometimes first-time investors who actually don't want to just jump into the housing market to live. They want to jump into own.
Yeah.
Right? And mortgage rules, being shitty as they are sometimes, aren't conducive for that for some people.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
So we started talking about rent-to-owns.
Rent-to-own, yeah.
Yeah.
For first-time buyer, wants to buy something, can't quite qualify for what they're looking for. Rent-to-own is an option. You would know more about in terms of how much money you need to get into that house.
Yeah, well, we've done a lot of rent-to-owns. I'll give a shout out to Jag Properties and a friend of mine, Alfonso, who runs Jag Properties. They're actually coming to our FIA show on next Thursday.
Next Thursday, 23rd.
Yep, May 23rd. But they run a great program. Essentially, if you're not meeting income requirements, you still need to demonstrate that you can afford it, right?
Of course.
And if you are going to rent it, that they're going to look at it differently than a bank. A bank, rental property, 20% down, no ifs, ands, or buts. They want to see 20% down. But as an investor to go through a rent-to-own program, they may be looking at $10,000, $15,000 as a down payment. And now all of a sudden you're not subject to, the ringer that the bank puts you through, and you can get into your first property.
Do you pay CMHC fees when you get a rent-to-own?
That should have been a plug question. That's such a good question, and we didn't even do that. But no, you don't.
Yeah.
So you know what? It's not cheap, right?
No, it's not free.
So it's not free, but like you are getting equity, and when you get hooked up with a good rent-own program, they will build in a price appreciation that's reasonable for the area.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure you've seen some really scammy rent-own programs.
Definitely. Run it by your realtor first.
Bam, right? So, and the good thing when you do a rent-to-own, I think something to be worried about is if someone says, oh, I'll do a rent-to-own, but you have to use me. Does that make sense?
Tough, except for I would say that because I want the business.
Yeah, I know.
But no, you're totally.
Yeah.
And you want some sort of outside counsel. Somebody that's 100% third party of the transaction to sort of give you that, whoa, pump the brakes, this looks too expensive or too good or something's fishy here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the important part is ask lots of questions. You want to know how much you're paying every single month, how much in excess you're paying every single month, because it's kind of equivalent to you paying an inflated rent.
Totally.
Right? So let's say you're renting out the property for $2,000 a month. Your payment might be $2,100 a month for example. However, a portion of that money is getting kicked back into a residual to help you as a forced savings for the down payment.
Yes.
Right? So really good program for people. We've done, I'll tell you, the rent-to-owns have been around for, like, you've probably seen them for 4, 5, 6, 10 years.
Yeah, as long as I've been in the business, 10 years. Yeah.
But we have done more this year at Mission 35 than I've ever done in the past. Like in the first 5 months, I think we've done almost 8 or 9 rent-to-owns so far.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I think it's a great program for people.
I think that's a cool way to build that equity, especially I don't think that you can save to outpace the market. I don't think that you can, in most cases, work enough to get enough money to outpace the market either. So I think
agree.
The key is getting your foot in the door, literally.
Yes.
And then working from there. And then even, that everybody might say, oh, it's overpriced or it's a bad deal or whatever. But those are probably people that either can qualify on their own or aren't ever going to own a house. Because you'll never be able to save enough.
I always use the physical trainer. You know what? The guy who does not have a six-pack is not going to be yelling at me while I'm weight training in the gym, okay? Like, if you're eating donuts, let me see your stomach, okay? I want to see how you are as a trainer. So when people, like Tobias said, when they're giving you advice on whether you should buy a rental or don't buy a rental or what you should do, how is their pocketbook? How is their investment portfolio? Look behind the curtain and say, okay, do I want what you have?
Yes.
And if the answer is yes, cool. See what they have. If the answer is no, well... say thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing to highlight is that in the market we're in, it's just appreciating so fast and it's becoming so unattainable. If you can find any way to get your foot in the door and get started, that's going to build your wealth. Longevity is the most important thing for appreciation. Yeah. So the younger you start, the faster you start. Like our buddy Noah. Totally. He's going to rule the world. He's going to rule the world. Those early buys have been the most profitable for me by far, and for you. Oh my gosh! And I constantly say I am not a smart man. I just bought early and held. Bought early and had it. Yeah. The thing too, I want to add in on the rent-owns because there is a lot of like skepticism around them. And Alfonso, check out Jag Properties. He shares a great story because. There was one where they built in a price appreciation, let's call it 3% per year. Yes. Right? And we all know if, since 2015, let's say you built in a 3% price appreciation when you bought a property in 2015, and the exit strategy was 2018, 3 years later. Yes. That property went up by almost 25%. So the person who bought it got to take all the rest of the lift. Nice. Do you know what I mean? So they paid an inflated rent for 3 years, but guess what? That property and the person who invested in the rent-to-own, because how a rent-to-own works on the back end is you have someone like Tobias buying the property and he's the owner and you're renting it off him, but everybody made money in that situation. Yes. And it was a fair situation. It's win-win. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So. And then I'm sure that it's got a bad name because there's a lot of people that do it not on the up and up and not in the nice way, totally weighted to the investor. So when you have a great reliable source like Alf from Jag, Alfonso, or somebody that's gonna have a sort of a history of successful people completing this program and being happy with it, that's something that you can look at and say, okay, this might be the right thing for me. Totally. Ask lots of questions. Don't be discouraged by it, okay? Because rent to own, when you hear rent to own, you think of that furniture shop. Oh my God! I can't afford a couch, so I got to go to the rent to own shop and get a couch and pay $99 a month, and I end up paying $20,000 for a couch, right? Yes. Oh my God. It's not that, right? Do you pay more? 100%, right? But like Tobias said, you will not outpace the equity component that you'll build up in a rent-to-own by trying to save. Yeah. Because you still achieve leverage in a rent-to-own. And some other pluses is you got to live somewhere. Damn right. You got to live. So you're not going to live for free unless you're at home. Yeah. But, you got to live somewhere. And why not have access to any house on the market that your rent-to-own qualifies for? You get to pick it, and as opposed to just what is out there on the rental market. Totally. You know what? Why not get a rent-to-own duplex? If this is your first house and you're in your early 20s, why not? And you got $5 or $10 grand that you saved your ass off to save up. Yeah.
put 10 grand down on a duplex, live in half, and now have your mortgage subsidized.
Yeah.
And after 3 years, guess what? Property value goes up, you start making more money, and then you buy it out.
Or this is a segue too into co-buying that you guys have been talking about.
Yeah, totally.
Rent own a duplex with your other buddy. You both have 5 grand. Now you got 10 grand, and you do duplex.
Totally.
And you both get control of your life.
Totally.
And control of your finances and control of your living situation.
You know what? I couldn't agree more on that. Co-living, cohabitation, co-buying, co-ho, co.
Co-hosting.
Co-hosting. See? Yeah. It's awesome. Like, I look at it, buying my first house, I was able to sell it and made almost $400,000 by selling it. Would I take half of that if I co-bought it with Tobias?
I don't know. Sounds like a bad deal. Sounds like
I'd take a quarter of it if we bought it with 4 of us. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, so don't be greedy in a sense, and don't find a reason not to get into it, because even if you did it with 4 people, if 4 of your buddies got together and each had $5 grand and $20,000, take 25% of a 10-year lift. It's a long-term plan. Man, you'll make a ton of money.
And you could even be living in renting. A lot of people are doing like room or combined space or sharing a house with some buddies.
Yep.
If you've got 2 buddies, you buy a duplex and you guys have one half, and the 2 of you rent out the basement to somebody too. You subsidize, probably live for very similar costs, and then
Airbnb your bedroom when you're gone. You know what I mean? For $100. And then you know what? I bet you people.
I'm all about the side hustle.
Yeah, and then I bet you people start Airbnb in their patio if they have a nice patio, and be like, hey, you know what? For $50, you can come have a beer on my patio.
There you go.
Okay, too much.
Free beer with all the patio rental.
Yeah,
because you can't resell alcohol.
I like it. Well, this is awesome. You know what? Our commitment to you is to help increase your wealth through real estate investment. That's why Tobias and I are here. So please, if you have any questions, reach out to either myself or Tobias. We're always here to serve and to help you guys.
Exactly. And don't forget, the deal of the century comes by every day.
Damn
Just got to have your
right.
eyes open.
Damn right. All right, buddy. Thanks, man. Make this a fabulous day, guys.